So now that we've mobilized and opened up the hip flexors, now we're going to activate the reciprocal end, the glute. So I'm going to start out with a basic hip bridge. So I'm going to drive my feet, plant them firmly into the ground. I'm going to tuck my core, make sure my back is flat to the ground, and engage my abdominal wall. I'm going to bridge up, squeezing my glutes and tucking my tailbone up to the ceiling. Now, in doing this, I want to make sure that I have about 80% of the tension in my buttocks, about 20% in my hamstrings. I'm going to lower down. The glute we want to be the prime mover. If it's not, if the glute doesn't do its job, I might fall into what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. In this case, now that the abs don't support the glutes and the glute turns off, I rely on what's called synergistic dominance. My hamstrings and my lower back become the prime movers. If that's the case, you might experience a hamstring cramp, or you might feel the whole exercise in your lower back, which obviously we don't want. So make sure, tuck the tailbone up to the ceiling, core nice and tight, feet planted firmly. I'm going to drive up, squeeze the glutes, a little bit in the hamstring, and maintain tension in my core. Now, this exercise can be manipulated a couple different ways. We can add a deduction or a abduction, depending on what is needed. So for example, let's say when you run, your knees might come together. In something that kind of looks like this, your stride might be somewhat in here. So to help alleviate that, I'm just going to put one of these mini bands, Perform Better mini band, around my knees. Now this is actively going to pull my knees together, just like the position that we don't want. So now I have to actively keep my core tight, bridge up through my glutes, but in addition, now I also have to pull out, because if I just relax, it'll bring my knees closer together. So by driving my hip, my knees out, that also is going to activate the glute triplanarly. This is another way to really get those glutes fired up.